let's make this quick because it's already getting late. Hi guys, my name is Hannah. This video is going to be a very interesting video. It's something that I don't usually do. I've only done this a couple of times, and those videos are probably not on my feed anymore because I took them down. You guys are all here with me today to hear more about my anxiety, more about my depression. I'm going to use the term situational depression only because I would say that there's only been a few instances in my life where I've actually been depressed, and when I googled it, it said that I was depressed, and you know, if you Google something, it means it's true. I'm going to use the term situational depression. Also, I don't want to offend anyone who severely struggles with depression or struggles with it at a bigger scale than I do. The reason why I'm saying situational is because for the past 3 to 4 months, that's kind of what I've been dealing with, and it wasn't until I went to the doctors after my car accident where it was kind of confirmed like that's what it was. So we're gathered here today because of one person, and today I'm gonna put this person on blast only because this person has me beyond scared straight, and that person would be my therapist, my life coach, Carrington. If you guys aren't following Carrington, I will have his info down below in my description box. But him and his wife, Ashley Brown, specializes in relationships and just all things dating. I've been working with Carrington for about a year now. I started talking with him about stuff, well, actually it'd be more than a year now at this point. We've gradually, progressed. It's been at a slow pace. It wasn't until this year where I really started opening up about things, and it wasn't actually until April where I felt like we were kind of getting somewhere. So if you guys don't know, I am an accountant, or I work in an accounting firm. I try to do that to stay humble. This was like my first official accounting season, or my first official tax season. Being that I was working between 60, 65 plus hours a week, I was struggling. Well, you probably can't tell based on my personality here right now. I cried before I even sat down with you to film this video. I think I just have a better way of hiding and masking my anxiety and masking my depression and masking my pain in general. For the majority of the time, people really can't tell if I'm okay or not, and it's not that when I post things on Instagram or when I'm in person that I'm not okay. It's just that I'd rather not reflect on it. I'd rather try to just, think of more positive things. God did not give us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And I'd rather have that sound mind. I don't know how much of this is actually going to get put into the video. I'm kind of just talking. I probably should have taken notes, but I thought to myself, let's just wing it. Carrington thought it'd be a good idea, and he actually kind of forced me to. It wasn't like a discussion. It was more of him demanding and telling me that I needed to film this video, and I told him that I would have this video filmed for him before I went on my trip because he wasn't going to be nagging me on my trip. On top of that, I've been dealing with, behind the scenes stuff that I don't really share because I'd rather take out a L behind the scenes. I'm gonna take my L's in private, so I'm also not a rat, and I'm not gonna I might put one person on blast, but that's just because they deserve to be put on blast. But anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm just gonna get into everything that's been going on. So I would say from the middle of March up until now, it's still continuing. It's kind of getting a little bit better. I feel like as I continue to work some more, things might get better. I might stop thinking about certain things, but as for right now, I'm still struggling. A lot of you don't know my upbringing. A lot of you don't know past traumas, so just gonna put that out as a disclaimer. I've had a very interesting upbringing, very interesting childhood. And a lot of subjects I'm probably not going to really go deep into just because y'all need to know all that. Because of the things that I've grown up with, whether it be things with family or even with things at school. Starting in the middle of March, I was going through a lot to the point where I noticed a couple of things that were a little bit not normal for me. I would literally go from work to home to bed. Work, home, bed. I stopped going to the grocery store. I wasn't even buying food. If I did eat, would be during lunch. That's only because a lot of people are around. And then because I was so tired, I wouldn't be eating dinner. So the only time I would be eating was during lunch. Like I wasn't doing anything besides working and sleeping. The first thing that I noticed was that my rings on my fingers were no longer fitting. I used to work at TJ Maxx. I would work like 60 hours for my full-time job, and then I would do like a 5 to 6 hour shift on a Saturday night for TJ Maxx. And that was from February until April 15th. I was doing that for 3 months, Monday through Saturday. And then Sundays was like my day of rest, Sabbath, you know, keep it holy. You know when people say like Instagram versus reality, I would say the majority of my Instagram is my reality. It's just that I don't show as much as the behind the scenes stuff. I don't think I would ever post a video of me crying, because like what is that? What am I trying to gain if I'm showing you a video of me crying? Yeah, like so work was very stressful, and it was getting to a point where like I'd be crying at work. So like I would go to the bathroom and I'd be crying, and then I felt like I didn't feel like I could safely cry in there without someone coming in and talking, or someone coming in there and like asking me what was wrong. So like it started with me like crying at my desk and just like trying to get through. It kind of escalated from me crying at my desk to me like taking walks to my car in like the middle of the day, or whenever I was having like an anxiety or panic attack. And I would go in my car. I'm not even sure if I should be saying this because I don't know who's gonna be watching this video, but yeah, so it got to the point where like I was going to the car multiple times a day or throughout the week and just crying in my car. And then I would get out of the car and go back into work and act like nothing was happening. And I've been doing that for probably like at least 2 months now. I was doing that more so that started like more so in April, and then it has gotten worse. So I would say more of it is anxiety. And the way that I deal with my anxiety is that I am an overthinker. When I tell you I overthink situations, it could be the smallest thing. I'll use Carrington as an example. So there's some times where we'll end the phone call, like my session, and I will get off the session, I will start analyzing every single thing that I said. Oh, well, he kind of hung up the phone really fast, and instead of allowing me to leave the room, he entered the Zoom room, or like I'll just start analyzing every single thing, picking it apart. And it could be very simple, where it's like he just entered the Zoom room because the session was over. Like it wasn't that he was like mad at me or upset with me, but like I will go down a list and start having anxiety about everything about that interaction. Say if I like interact with like the mailman or something, and like I give them something and like I say thank you, they don't say thank you back or something. It's like, okay, wait, are they mad at me? Did I not smile when I said thank you? Wait, I'm pretty sure I smiled when I said thank you. I don't know why they didn't say thank you to me, but I meant it when I said thank you. Like, I'll start analyzing situations, and as you guys are hearing this, you're probably like, what the hell is wrong with this girl? I feel like for a big part of my overanalyzing stuff and overthinking things has to do with just like anxiety of situations. And I feel like I brought up the summer of 2020 because I feel like that's where it started to stem from. So when I would post things about black people being killed for no reason, I'm clenching my pearls because some people really took offense to that, and they took offense to me speaking up about things that don't make sense. And I feel like when I was posting stuff over the summer, and even as I continue, I get a lot of opinions, or I get a lot of feedback that's unwarranted. And because of that, I didn't even know that I was doing this until I recently checked, but I had taken off the option for people to comment or react to my stories. I just changed it recently. I didn't know that people couldn't respond to my stories. So like I was doing that. And then another big thing, I would say like my two biggest apps are Instagram and YouTube, and Twitter so-so, but Instagram is like my favorite app. And there was an update a couple months back in 2020 where Instagram got rid of notifications. Well, for me, that was the best thing that could have happened, because I never re-updated my app because I loved not having notifications. So like I don't get likes, I don't see when people comment on my posts, I don't see when one of the accounts I follow post, I don't get updates about stories, I don't get any of that stuff unless I am in the app. With my anxiety, that was working out perfectly for me. Like I didn't have to interact with Instagram unless I was on the app. But because I worked with a brand, was getting pressure from, I have a coach, or had a coach in Texas, and then also from Carrington, to post on my Instagram and to be active on my social media, and like because I was getting paid to post content and we had to post on certain days, there were some interactions that I had to post stuff on Instagram. But if you notice my posts, I barely post. I go months without posting anything. I don't think people realize that. I think that people think because I post videos doing my hair, or because I post stuff about Black Lives Matter or whatever, the statement, not the organization, because I think they see that, they think that I'm fine, they think I'm okay, and that's not the truth. It's not that in those videos I'm not happy, it's just that I'm not showing you when I am not happy. Another overanalyzing thing that I do is that I don't watch Instagram stories. When I tell you I will post something on my Instagram, whether it be a story or a post, I post it and then I exit the app and I throw my phone away for hours because I get anxiety of comments. I get anxiety of what people are going to say, what people are going to think. I get anxiety, like, I don't even view when people view my stories. I don't know who views it. I just see the number. I'm not sure if all this is making sense, but my point of this is like another example of how my anxiety works. Let's say someone posts a story and I watch it. Now I have anxiety that I have to continue watching the entire story or every time they post something because I don't want them to think that I stopped watching their story. Now I have to go back and watch everything, and I'm not just gonna skip through it and act like I didn't watch it. I wanna know now that I'm on it. Or say if I start watching your story one day and then I don't watch the next day, now I'm having anxiety, okay, they don't think I like them because I didn't watch their story today, and now I have to go watch. So that's what's going on in my head with Instagram. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because there were a couple individuals who kind of brought it to my attention that I hadn't been watching their story, or they just took it, like, they took offense to my Instagram activity as if I was personally doing something to them because I wasn't engaging with their Instagram. And if I'm being honest, I don't engage in my own Instagram. April 3rd was a very pivotal day for me because a lot of stuff was going on that week. That was the first time I've ever cried on a conversation or a call with him, and I just kind of just told him everything. There were some things he was surprised about that I hadn't shared with him, and then I just kind of felt at that moment, April 3rd was when I finally came into understanding that I really felt alone. Like, even though I might have been talking with people or like engaging, I really felt alone in that moment. It's hard for me to talk about what was actually going on because I don't want to, like, I'm not a snitch. The beginning of April was a lot. And I felt alone. I felt like no one was really there for me. I kind of felt like I was there for people who weren't there for me. I felt like I had one-sided relationships, and that kind of just progressed throughout the month of April. Another thing I want to talk about is like my birthday. So my birthday was fine, it was good. There was a couple things that happened that weren't ideal on my birthday, but like for the majority of my birthday, it was a pretty good day. For me, and over the years, my birthday always gets ruined, and so I've gotten accustomed to just spending my birthday by myself, just because I want to avoid having my day messed up. The only person I'm putting on blast in this video is my sister, and because of the circumstances of the situation, she needs to be put on blast. I have been natural for about 7 to 8 years now. Growing up, like I said, I went to all-white school, so for me, beauty and everything was very European for me. Hair was a big deal. I remember at a certain point my mom wanted to buy me and my sisters a Barbie watch, and I actually have another video about this that you guys can watch if you want to, but basically my mom wanted to buy me and my sisters a Barbie watch. My sisters bought the black Barbie watch and I bought the white Barbie watch. So like that's where like my identity came in with a lot of stuff. I was very whitewashed. When it comes to my hair, I'm very particular about my hair, and it's just because it means a lot to me. Like, I probably idolize it more than I should. And I noticed that in the past, when my hair gets cut, a lot of bad things start happening in my life. My hair has been the shortest bad things have happened. When I look back on the time frame of stuff, my hair has been short. I remember in 2014, my hair was the shortest it's ever been. And right around that time, my great aunt, someone that I was really close with, she passed away, and then I also had to have my first breast surgery. 2019, my hair got cut, and I had the absolute worst summer of 2019 ever. I had asked my sister to kind of just give me a little trim. I wanted to wear my hair natural for the summer, and I know that I had a little bit of heat damage, so I wanted her to make my curls pop. My sister is very good at doing hair, and because her curls were popping, I asked her to come over and, you know, please just fix my hair. That was the goal, that was the task, that was the mission, and she failed it. It started off fine. Everything was going fine, and then I felt like during some point of the interaction, something had taken over her body. She had gotten possessed, and my sister cut my hair, and not only she cut it, she botched it. The way my hair was uneven, there was no way I could wear it down without having it be noticeably uneven. And like, I know I'm joking around when I say this, and it's meant to be funny in a way, but I swear to you guys, every single time my hair gets cut, I feel like Samson and Delilah. Like, I literally feel like my powers and everything gets stripped from me. And then things just start going the way they don't need to be going. I don't think I cried until I went to the hair salon because I had to get, the way my sister cut my hair, I had to get it further cut because it was just that bad. And so I remember crying the whole time into the salon, and I also had a brand deal with a company, so like that's why like the hair thing was way more like, I know some people were like, oh, it's just hair, oh, it's just go back. For the most black people, it's not just hair. 19th up until now, things have just progressively gotten worse. There are a few relationships that are no longer relationships. I had gotten into a car accident. Family stuff came up. My passport had expired. I'm supposed to be going on a trip that I paid for. Because of the circumstances that were going on, I was depressed. I wasn't doing laundry. I wasn't cleaning. I had no desire to do any of the activities that I normally would do. I wasn't really eating. And the second big thing that happened was I ended up losing 20 pounds. I wasn't really doing anything to really make myself lose the 20 pounds. That's the most weight I've ever lost in my entire life. And my rings weren't fitting. I had started to notice that some of my clothes were baggy, but like I wasn't taking any note to it. I just thought it was because of spend. So when I went to my checkup appointment with my primary care doctor, she did an evaluation of me. I had been getting really, really bad headaches. It was to the point where like she had prescribed me medication, and I didn't know if the headaches were stemming from my accident because I got whiplash from getting hit so hard. I had like headache in the back of my head, but then I also just had an overall headache all the time. Like throughout the day, it was really hard for me to concentrate. Like I don't even know how I got through work. Like I would put headphones in to listen to music, and I would play the same song for hours. Like for an 8-hour shift, I'd be playing one song. I was crying almost every night. You have all of the other like George Floyd trial. You just have like, just stuff is still going on in life, and I'm just trying to manage stuff, and then I live by myself, so it's like my mind was racing so much. I was just overwhelmed, and I felt like no one knew anything about it, or the people that did know, I felt like they were tired of hearing me talk about the same situations. I felt like they were tired of me giving advice that I wasn't taking because I wanted to do things my way. There's only been one instance in my life where I felt suicidal. And for some reason, I didn't feel like that this time, but I didn't feel like the point where I like could take my life. Everyone knows the famous episode with Kim Kardashian when she loses her earrings in the water, and Courtney was just like, Kim, people are dying. Like that's how I felt. When I look outside, I look like where I am. I am doing fine. It's just so hard when you don't have motivation or you just don't feel like doing it because all you're doing is crying. I think one of the biggest things that has really kept me going through stuff is I would do like self-care days. I either got a facial every month, or I got my nails done, or I was doing something where I was trying to bring little bits of joy. And I'm sharing this with you guys because maybe that there's someone that's also been going through similar things as me that can relate. I don't like to come off as perfect. That's never my goal. I personally feel like a lot of times people don't care, or they just want to know stuff. Like they don't actually care to see how you're doing, or they don't want to check in. And I'm not saying that anyone has to check in on me. I just don't like to burden people with what I'm going through because I feel like either they're going through their own stuff. I don't want to burden somebody or share what I'm going through and then have this expectation of them to like be there for me, and then when I go to them, they're not there. So that's just why I don't share stuff. I just keep it to myself, or I tell my dog. You know, it's really cute to put out Bible verses about, you know, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, or like God did not give me the spirit of fear. But like it's cute. Like I know I said that earlier, and I'm not really big on lip service. So it's like while I am still reading the Bible, while I still am reflecting, while I still know that God has blessed me, while I still know that He's there for me, sometimes it just doesn't feel like that. And I'm being honest, I did not feel like that these past couple months. Although I was going to church on Sundays, I still felt like lonely because of the stigma of like therapy, and like people frown upon it. And just because that I am going to therapy and I am getting help doesn't mean that it makes me any less confident or any less of a Christian because of that. I just want to make that very clear. And I would say another thing that I wanted to mention too, sometimes people say things to me like, you always are so funny, or you're always so bubbly, or you just seem okay. While that may be true, I just feel like for those instances, you either don't know me well enough, or I'm not letting you see my true emotion, or I don't feel comfortable sharing it. I'm going to be this person. This is the bubbly person that I am. It doesn't mean that I don't cry, or that I'm not also human. Because I feel like a lot of times people think because I joke around a lot, and because I'm always laughing, or I'm always just like being sarcastic or whatever, that I don't feel the same things that people with anxiety or depression. Like there's no way that I could have depression, or there's no way that I could have anxiety because I'm not showing visible symptoms. Like in order for people to believe me that I have anything wrong, I feel like they need to see me cut my wrist or something. So yeah, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, because you watched this video, I feel like you owe me. I feel like you need to subscribe. I think I did what I was supposed to do. If not, I will hear about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.